Shit's about to get mad real.
Bring it.
Yeah. So, Athena, let's say hello to all the lovely people who are going to be watching this later.
Hi, everyone. It's Athena Lucene. How's everyone doing?
I guess they're awesome, or they wouldn't be. So, before everybody got on, we were kind of talking about energy work, manifesting, and not
Mhm.
just, like generic, kind of cliche,
Head in the clouds, woo woo.
but in terms of like actually living the life you want and self-directing and getting where you want to go with the people you want to do. And as proof of that, you and me are both in different places on the world, but on the same ocean,
Absolutely.
right there.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Oh, wait. This view, let me show my view.
are you trying to one up me, girl?
Since you're showing off your view, I'm gonna show off my view too. I'm in Jamaica currently, doing a
So
couple of things here.
So let's talk about some deep questions that a lot of people, because most people that I know, for many, many reasons, are not living their ideal life.
Mm-hmm.
They're either working at jobs they don't like, sometimes stuck in relationships they no longer want to be in,
Mm-hmm.
or their health proposes all kinds of challenges that make it difficult to do what they want to do, or they just feel like they don't have enough money to be able to live the lifestyle they want. And you and
Sure.
we do this whole thing on manifestation, often holding the whole thing
Absolutely.
with duct tape. So, what are some of the reasons you think that most people don't step up and live their life the way they should be?
Mm-hmm. I think the main reason most people don't step up and live the life that they should be, or they're desiring to live, is because, quite simply, they don't even know what that is. They don't even stop to think about what it is that is really nourishing their soul and the divinity within them. And it's not about having everything perfect, quote unquote, but it's simply about starting with simple clarity about what it is that your dream epic life would look like, because it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
And so I think the first step is the realization and a strong awareness of a connection to each of our divinity and how it wants to express itself through us. And getting clarity on that is the absolute first step. But unfortunately, most persons are not even aware of what it is that they really want, how the divine is looking to express through them.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main thing that holds them back.
I would also add that the trade-off that you kind of get for living this kind of lifestyle is that what most people don't realize is that you deal with perpetual uncertainty. So I can tell you, like in a business sense, this expresses itself as if you have a steady job, you're going to make $800 or $1,200, whatever you make on Thursday or Friday or whenever payday is, as where you run your own business, you might go 3 months without seeing a dollar, right? So you deal with uncertainty in that. And then there's also, like, we dealt with uncertainty, like, okay, we were traveling so much that often we didn't know where we were going to live in like 3 days, like perpetually, for months on end. And it's really exciting, but it's also terrifying realizing, like, if we don't plan this through, we could be homeless on Friday. And one little thing can screw it up. So we had like a credit card issue. Just like cards wouldn't work. I'm in a foreign country, third world country. It's not like you can easily just fix it, right? We got scammed too. Like, there's been so many crazy things. And I think most people, in their need for certainty, give up everything else. They have a boss who tells them. But the downside with certainty is that it usually, certainty is good in the experience most people have, but you never get to experience great. And so you actually, like that gap, whatever the life is from good to great, you miss out on so much more because settling.
Right. So it takes absolute confidence, I think, Frankie. Absolute confidence in yourself, first and foremost. Absolute confidence in the divine or source or spirit or God or Jesus Christ, whatever, that name, that expression is for you, that makes you feel safe and comfortable. But it takes absolute, faith and trust in your ability to co-create with the divine within, and to know that you're fully supported, you're meant to live your purpose, fulfill your purpose, and that you're surrounded by abundance, you're surrounded by support, everything, all your good is it comes to you from everyone, everything, and all around you. And once you can get in the frequency of that, once you can get in a strong centered space with that, it gets easier and easier as you practice that, right? And then you have less freak out moments. So it takes practice and spiritual growth. Absolutely.
I think you hit on a really good word, which is, I think a lot of people like get that conceptually, but in terms of implementation and like actually experiencing it where they can hold the frequency for a long time until that expression comes true in their life, whether that's the perfect love they're looking for, or the right business or job or income situation, or they just want to get their health back for something that's unhealthy.
Absolutely.
Is they don't understand that
Absolutely.
that word you use, practice, is part of it. And so I think I see a lot of people.
Practice and doing inspired action.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see a lot of people who think, I read a book once that said unsuccessful people believe in events. Like they think if somebody's rich, they must have won the lottery or got lucky. And
Right.
Successful people believe in processes. And they said, like, okay, LeBron is the greatest basketball player on the earth right now, but if you follow him around, or whoever you think it is, doesn't really matter. You follow it around, you probably see him take 30,000 jump shots a day, right? And the fact that he's really good.
Most people don't see that.
Exactly. And like they don't see that
the inner work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That the one leads to the other. And I think you said confidence and practice, and I think most people don't understand that those two things like really go together.
Absolutely.
So like, what are you doing these days to like build up your inner work and your practice? Share some cool tips with us people.
Well, yeah, sure. Great question, because it's different for everyone. But for me personally, you mentioned that there are persons out there who are desiring, optimal health or more money or, that perfect relationship, whatever it is. The idea is that there's always something that can be more aligned with higher frequency and source, and, just a more, conducive expression of well-being. And for me, I've been very deliberate about each experience, each disappointment, each setback, quote unquote, because I don't believe that there are disappointments and setbacks, but I believe that each perceivable setback or disappointment, loss of a loved one, whatever the situation is, that experience actually came into your reality to kind of like supercharge your spiritual growth, so that you can use it to propel you to the next level, to remind you of what your purpose was, remind you of something that you forgot. And so for me, I'm very deliberate about how I start my day. I start my day daily, like at the start of the day before I talk to anyone. I really get centered and, connected with my spirit, the spirit within, source, God, the creator of the universe. I get connected and I get centered and for clarity about what direction, what steps, what do I need to be doing next for my business? How am I meant to be a blessing to others, or deliver a message that my clients that I work with are needing to hear? So quiet time is huge for me. Quiet meditative time. I love taking walks. I love being with nature. And I have an affinity for being by water. I find water very healing and calming and inspirational for me. So for me, those things are an absolute must early in the morning when I first wake up before I speak to anyone. And then, of course, once something comes to my awareness, I do the inner work. I get very clear on what my fears are around that issue, whether it's money and, a next money level or a next business success level. And I do the inner work. I get very clear. I allow all the negative emotions around whatever it is that I'm manifesting or working towards, all the negative emotions that come up around that topic. I'm very courageous about facing it, because you have to face it so that you can heal it, remove it, unblock it, and move forward so that you can manifest into a bigger dream.
Hell yeah. Actually, what's really interesting, I was thinking about as you're saying this, because, I've gone through a similar transformation, but you're an inspiration in the sense, when I first met you, you were at some shitty ass 9 to 5 government job, and I assume your day, like we didn't go into the details, but I assume your day started like most people's did, which is
Oh,
with an alarm clock, then a sprint to go like
yes,
get ready and run out to work, and then the whole day
yes,
living the first 10 hours of your day entirely in somebody else's
yeah,
hand, being told what to
yeah,
do and usually doing stuff you didn't want to do. And now it's a very
yeah,
interesting change because you're talking about waking up and thinking about the most important thing and purpose and how I'm going to show up. And
yeah,
so now you've crossed over into this bridge where you have this space of freedom to even be able to do that. So
yes.
I mean, if somebody's trying to energetically create a space where they can have that same kind of freedom, firstly, how do they get it and what should they do with it once they have it?
I would say that, for the female entrepreneurs out there specifically, or anyone who is looking to create that type of freedom, what I would say is do the work to investigate what your purpose is, and understand that a 9 to 5 job holds its place. Express appreciation for that, but also get clear on what your purpose is and how you're using your life force. And if the way you're using your life force is not conducive to what your purpose is, the divine reason you came to this planet, if you're not using your life force for that, if you're feeling drained, if you're not feeling passionate about what you're doing, if you're not feeling creative, if you're not in an effortless flow, then I would say that do some investigation, get clear on what your purpose is, create a blueprint, not a plan, a blueprint, and be very flexible with it. And just create an exit strategy, whatever that is. I know for me personally, I've been growing my business. This is my 3rd year now, and I remember, as you stated, like working my 9 to 5 job. Working my 9 to 5 job. There's people here having so much fun here.
Jamaica, they're
But
getting high as fuck.
tropical paradise, right? But
Yes.
yeah, like I remember in my 9 to 5 job, like this is the 3rd year now, and I remember it was scary, because you have to have a blue plan, you have blueprints, and you have to be very intentional that this is what your strategy is going to be. You're going to build your business, you're going to educate yourself, get more skilled in certain areas, and you're going to like hold the focus and stay very intentional and determined and persistent to have that dream, because it's easier to give up when you can't find the resources initially to take that next up level or get that website or whatever it is that you're trying to do, or even have access to the right mentorship. It's easier to give up, but effective to understanding that this is not just a business, or this is not just a whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. This is your purpose. This is your life work. This is the reason you came here. This is a thing that is the source of your joy and your fundamental abundance. This is the foundation for all those positive feelings and having a really full, holistic, well-rounded, balanced mental and emotional life. And so create a strategy. And then I would say, once you get that freedom, allow the support to come, allow yourself to ease into the thing or the freedom that you're creating, because it's not always easy. When you have security, as you say, whatever it is, whether that financial security, knowing where that next paycheck is coming from, emotional security or prestige security, like you have a great job, right, with a great benefit. And so there's this thing that, humans tend to want to feel secure. And so a lot of times that goes against when it's time, for you to take that next leap, that next step, when you're, in that next level, of self-confidence, of just your own personal development. It takes a lot of courage, because as you stated, you won't know where your next check is coming from. And it takes absolute experience in staying centered and grounded in your purpose, who you are, your truth, and living it and being very clear on what it is that you want to create, and the impact and the persons you're wishing to be of service to. So I would say create a strategy, trust yourself, trust your intuition, and understand that you're always supported. If you can just foster the spiritual mindset and a conducive mindset, you will always be supported. and, you know, just take it one step at a time. And then when that opportunity comes, when you do have the freedom, don't fear it, you know, or if you're going to fear it, feel the fear, but still move forward. Still feel the fear, but move forward, because hold true to your dreams and your passion and your purpose. And that's what I would say. And take it from there, you know, develop yourself in every way, every opportunity you can get, and stay passionate and stay determined and stay resilient.
I just heard the Dos Equis guy and go, stay thirsty, my friend. Yeah. No, but I feel you. Yeah. It's actually, let's go a little deeper on that, because what I find is purpose is a really interesting thing, because I see a lot of people and they're looking for it. They're like, you know, why am I here? What am I doing? They know that whatever they're doing isn't it. And they feel like they're meant for more, but they don't know what that more actually is or how to get it. So one of the things I see is people thinking that it's all going to come to them in this sudden moment of epiphany, and they're going to know everything.
No.
And it's really like one of those things where it's like when you claim your purpose in a lot of little things, it suddenly starts to find itself in the big things. So like, you know, a really simple example is to purposefully choose when you're going to get up, what you're going to do when you do it, what kind of food you're going to put in your body, who you're going to spend your time with, where you're going to location. When you start to do those things, the grander expression of purpose starts to present itself. So let's talk about that person who may be watching this and they feel like they know they're meant for more. They intuitively feel that, but how life is presenting itself is the total fucking opposite. And we both know what that place looks like. So
absolutely.
How do they get out of there?
Well, I believe, Frankie, that everything starts, spirituality is in everything. And it's in those moments when you are seeking, an individual is seeking to understand more about their purpose, what all the dots, you know, how to connect the dots, and what all their life experiences that they have led, what it means, the deeper meaning behind it. And that's a perfect defining moment to start seeking soul expression through your life, or consciousness, higher consciousness, so that you can come to the realization of the answers to those very questions. It's in the silent moments, it's in those times when you take more silent, present, reflective time in asking those questions, so that you can get clear on it, and bit by bit, more will come to you, more will come to you. And you will just, if you just take one step at a time, if you can just be intentional about, you know, wanting clarity and having clarity, and doing the inner work to really develop yourself, examining your beliefs around life, the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, really getting intimate with yourself, getting to know yourself, not just, you know, in a very egotistical way, but in a very soulful way, where you understand yourself as, you know, on the spiritual level, the mental level, emotional level, just really getting intimate with yourself. And for me, you know, it's a lot of quiet, reflective time. You know, you don't have to go off with the monks and, you know, do all that fun stuff, which you can do, which is an awesome way to discover your purpose. But literally, it's just the quiet moments, being more present and being more deliberate about opening up to receiving more clarity about what it is that you're meant to be doing. And then start recognizing the things that make you feel good, the things that make you feel light, the things that make you feel joyous, the things that make you feel inspired. You know, it's in doing those things. It's about how you're feeling, how you're experiencing your reality. So absolutely, it doesn't happen all at once.
Yeah.
That's why it's a commitment and it's a journey, and it, you know, it's never done.
Yeah, I feel like it first starts with the decision that you're gonna experience your life purpose, and then I think you said like a really good word, which is it's more received than, you know, like it'd be nice, but you just really have to like take it all in. And the beautiful thing is I find that it's not totally foreign either, because your past experience leaves clues. Like one of the things I would deal with, I would get a lot of lawyers and they would come to me and they would be kind of unconscious about everything, like no purpose in any of their expressions, right? And so the simplest thing is they would tell me they need more clients to make more money, and I would say, who? Like, you got 12,000 different clients who come to you, like which ones do you like dealing with? And they had never really examined the questions of like who they liked dealing with and who they didn't. And so
Yeah,
how can you be purposeful about your business if you haven't even kind of thought about the fundamental questions like that? So I think when you receive it, you start to realize, well, I really liked this. Why don't I just do more of that? Like that's always inspired me. That's always
exactly.
brought me joy.
Do more of what you love.
Exactly. And so you're not always like reinventing the wheel, and those kind of things come to you in the stillness. And then I think there's a part of it that, at least in the beginning, feels like a giant fucking leap of faith.
It is.
It is
It's
not nearly as
absolutely
much
that.
as a leap of faith as it seems like, but in the beginning, it feels like you're jumping off a 200-foot cliff and you cannot see the ground, right? Like it really
Hmm.
does feel like.
But isn't there fun and exhilaration in that, though?
Yes, absolutely. It's an adventure,
Isn't
right? that
that right? To see how you're going to be supported, how that support is going to show up for you. That's where the fun and the adventure. That's the best part about it. Is not knowing. Is the uncertainty,
Yes.
right?
And the funny thing is I found that in my experience, what most people think is certain is actually more uncertain. And I experienced this pretty profoundly. So I worked for the Ford Motor Company when I was really young. I was a supervisor there. And they were just reaching a time, 2008, when the economy was really going bad, and they started sending all the jobs away to like third world countries where they could do it cheaper. And what that meant experientially is I knew
Mm,
all these people who had been there 21 years and less. Everyone who was 21 years and less got fired in a day. They just laid them off.
wow.
And all these people had
Wow.
told me for years, I should go somewhere else, learn something new, but I have security here, I have benefits, I got a retirement.
Yeah.
And they all bet on their certainty. And in one sweeping moment, their whole certainty was taken away from them because they had never thought what to do about it. They were all kind of lost. And if you embrace these questions sooner, I think. Um,
Yeah.
so, what do you think are some good questions people should ask themselves to kind of get out of that rut?
Well, I mean, just simple as something along the lines of, what's my purpose? What brings me joy? You know, how can I be of service or contribution to others? How can I show more love? How can I be the energy of love? How can I be fulfilled? How can I be a blessing to everyone around me? You know, what is the greatest expression of the divine, flowing through me? What is that? It's just a sequence of asking really deliberate questions. How can I have more clarity? How can I just be the fullest expression and the highest frequency of abundance? It's just ask. I think people are just not really taught to really
No.
ask for what they need, ask for what they want.
Yeah. There's
People are really
definitely
uncomfortable with asking,
there's definitely
and
like
they're not taught
most
to
people.
or encouraged to.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off there, but yeah, I definitely see
No,
that
it's
most
okay.
people have like a reactivity to life,
Yeah.
and because of it, they never really get a chance to think about where they want to drive the buses. They just get on it, going wherever the bus
Yeah.
goes. Okay, I think
And
we're actually just about out of recording time because apparently
oh, cool.
so what that means is so you're actually launching a program for people to help them get
I am. It's I'm so excited about this work. It's the art of manifesting wealth. It's an 8 weeks course for female entrepreneurs who are feeling stuck vibrationally, who wants to heal the energy around their money story, their self-love story, their story around self-worth. It's for female entrepreneurs who are really deliberate about healing and shifting limiting beliefs so that they can expand more in their consciousness and allow more for themselves, more of their desires. And it's a course that's really designed to support women through this transition, because it can be scary having what you want. It
yeah
can be scary when things start manifesting that you've desired for so long. It's a scary thing. And so, support is very important. So we do lots of fun things in the 8 weeks course. We learn how to manifest things. We learn how to just really sit in the seat of conscious more, higher consciousness more. and just radiate more love, more joy, more passion, more service, more contribution. And so it's everything that has to do with living passionately, fulfilling your purpose, and just being all expressions of higher abundance, and just practical ways of being the expression of that.
I'm in. So what's the next steps for somebody who wants to do that?
Sure. So you can check out my website, www.athenalucene.com, and go to services, and you can go to 8 weeks, the 8 weeks Art of Manifesting Wealth course, or you can email Athena at athenalucene.com.
All right. That's all the time we got for recording. So let's end.
Absolutely.
Give them the peace.
Thank you, Frankie.